most people they go to school, they go to college, and then they get a job for 40 years, probably a job that they hate, so they can go on vacation like once a year. What if we've engineered a completely different model where we could take care of that vacation side? Like, how awesome would your life be? We haven't seen a mainstream brand in crypto yet to be known as the Nike of crypto or the Red Bull of utility tokens. This is what we're gunning for.
Today I sit down with HM, co-founder and CEO of crypto project Lingo. Airdropping your next vacations, Lingo is the first startup that leverages blockchain tech and real estate to reward its community with vacations. Thank you, Lingo, for sponsoring this video. And before we talk about the team, before HM announces a giveaway exclusively for the Altcoin Daily audience, so watch the whole video, in your own words, what is Lingo?
Right, so Lingo is the first mainstream token in the world. Essentially, it's the first crypto for the everyday guy.
Interesting. And what's the use case? Because I thought Bitcoin was for everybody.
Yeah, well, in theory it should be, but when you look at the market today, there's how many people that currently own Bitcoin? 200 million people, approximately. And that's what it was important for us. I mean, 2 years ago we started Lingo. I've been in crypto since 2016, and what was obvious to us is we've seen all these VC-backed projects we've tried to this point now with hundreds of billions invested in that space. We've tried nearly every single business model you can think of, like DeFi, layer 2s, infra, layer 1, NFTs, etc., etc. And we found that most were based on one premise, is that we've all seen these BCG stat, there's going to be 1 billion people joining that space by 2030. And that led to the raise of hundreds of billions of dollars behind this industry. We tend to think differently. Yes, it would be great if 1 billion people join that space in 2030, but we think there's already 1 billion people today who would be interested in crypto. And no one's interested in that market. And that is the everyday guy. There's a stat that we saw that 65% of people in the US are curious about crypto. And around the world, it's probably 1 billion people plus curious about crypto. We've all met at a wedding, at a party, the uncle is saying, "Hey, yeah, I've heard of crypto. Is it this Bitcoin thing?" And they don't mention, like, forget about like Algorand and Aave and all these projects. Maybe Ethereum gets there. It's like, oh, this Bitcoin thing, and you feel like these guys are curious and they kind of want in, but they didn't. So if there's more than 1 billion people in that space today, why is it only 20% who actually went into crypto? So we were like, okay, well, if we take a first principles approach and see what is blocking the everyday guy, the 800 million people today from joining that space, it boils down to 3 things. One, it's too hard to understand. Number 2 is that it's risky or backed by nothing. And number 3 is it's not useful, the utility, right? You can't use it in real life. So our thesis was, if we can engineer a token that is easy to understand, that is backed by a concrete model that generates real value, and that people can use in everyday life, and if we market this with a proper brand to millions of people, is there a chance that the crypto curious says, hey, I understand this, I see the value in it, I can use it in real life, why not? And this industry alone is potentially as big as the current crypto industry. It's another potential $1 trillion industry. And this is what our thesis was behind starting Lingo.
And to be ultra clear, like in the basic terms of nobody's ever heard of it, what is Lingo? And how will Lingo lead to those next 1 billion people?
Right on. So I'm going to answer that in 2 ways. One, for the crypto community, which is your audience who understands all the behind the scenes who doesn't need education. And the other one for the everyday guy. And I'm going to start with the crypto community first. Essentially, it's a 3-part solution that consists of the economic model. That's quite unique. It's a utility in real life, and is the community behind. On the economic model side, what we've seen after so many different kinds of business models in Web3, there's really 2 types that have proven to stand the worst bear market that we've seen today. And that might sound controversial, but the first one is meme coins. You're seeing the rise of Pepe and all these meme coins, and really what they seem to have tapped into is the culture of crypto. There's 74% of crypto today, of people investing in crypto, who do so because they want to expect exponential gains. They are gamblers, they speculate on crypto. We want it or not, we hate it or not, this is a reality. Crypto culture, out of $1 trillion industry, 750 billion is people saying, hey, I can 10x on this. This is what crypto is about. And they understood it. Obviously, I won't go into the details of why meme coins are doing a bad job, rug pulls, there's no docs team, there's no business model behind. But the premise initially was amazing. Like the first initial meme coins in 2021 was, hey, we're going to have a fixed supply of tokens. We're going to charge transaction fees and give that to the community. And that way, well, the more the community grows, the more, since you have a fixed supply of tokens, the more the trading volumes happens, the more the community grows and the more we'll get rich. The idea was supposed to change the world, but it lacked two things that we think, if they had these two things, was potentially going to change the world. Number one is that you can't create value out of thin air. Like no matter how you engineer tokenomics, there needs to be something that produces value. And number two, to grow a community organically over time is you need utility in real life. So what we've done is we've inspired ourselves with a model of fixed supply of tokens, charging transaction fees, getting them to the community, but we've added those two missing elements. One is real world assets, which is a second business model that seems to be the next future for Web3. Like we see BlackRock saying there's potentially a $16 trillion industry in real world asset tokenization. Well, that's true and that's great, but again, what's missing there is you lack this degen element of it that doesn't apply to the crypto culture. Yeah, you can invest in real world assets, but you can't 50x or you can't crush with it, and that alienates 75% of the market. So what we've done is we've taken real world assets, interjected it between transaction fees and the community. So what happens is when people trade the token, we charge the transaction fees, but instead of this going straight to the community, this goes to real world assets that is cash flow producing. So that means that you have a perpetual, constant, guaranteed buying pressure on your token for life. And what that happens is when you have this buying pressure in, then these tokens get injected into the ecosystem, and then we have real value that we can use to finance real utility. And I'm going to talk about the utility soon, but now you have something that finances an ecosystem that doesn't depend on other business models, whether the token goes up or down. You still have the fiat buying pressure every month. So that means you have a constant engine to have a healthy model where you can consistently finance utility for the community. Now, what happens is when you give great utility to the community grows organically. When your community grows organically, it optimizes your trading volume. When your trading volume is optimized, then guess what? You charge even more fees. Now with these fees, your asset base go up. When these go up, you finance even more utility that grows a bigger community that optimizes the trading volume. And that's how you create the perpetual upward circle of value creation, at least in theory. We're going to test it out. And so that's on the economic model side. On the and before getting to the utility, we've tried to map out this business model with Bitcoin. Like imagine if Satoshi coded only a 0.1% transaction fee and invested that into real estate from day one. And I'm just talking about on-chain transactions here. And you would have over 100. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just want to know. I just also want to make it clear to the audience. Lingo is airdropping your next vacation. It's about investing in real estate. I just want to 2 or 3 sentences on just like basic terms of what it is, and then we can go into the economic model.
Sure thing. And that's where I wanted to get into the what do we pitch to the everyday guy. Essentially, the utility, the rewards that we were talking about, and I explained why, is vacations. It's free vacations. So it's essentially what we've done is we said, look, what most people are doing in crypto is they give yield. First of all, that's a very, very dangerous path to go to with the Howey test, and you don't want to be a security there. And also, if you want to target 1 billion mainstream people, most people don't invest. Most people aren't interested into investing and getting yields. What people are interested in is real life rewards. So what we've done is we've A/B tested around 35 different value offerings, and we've found out and we're shocked that the number one reward by far that excites people the most is vacations. And it makes a lot of sense. Like, who doesn't want to go on vacation? It's probably the highlight of everybody's life once a year. Like, now, most people they go to school, they go to college, and then they get a job for 40 years, probably a job that they hate, so they can go on vacation like once a year. What if we've engineered a completely different model where we could take care of that vacation side? Like, how awesome would your life be? Which is why yield is not the utility. It's really vacation rewards.
I love that.
So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's really interesting to me. And you were going into the comparison of the economic model if Satoshi had the transaction fee?
Yeah, so imagine 0.1%, only 0.1% transaction fees on on-chain trading volume since day one from Bitcoin. Today, you would have over $50 billion of, let's say the real world assets were real estate. You'd have over $50 billion of real estate at a 6% yield that would generate around $3 billion every single year that could be used to buy back Bitcoin for life. And that could be used to finance utility for the vacation. And so you'd have a Bitcoin on steroids today. But obviously for this to work, I'm not getting into the maximalist idea because I think Bitcoin is extremely important. I have a large part of my personal savings in Bitcoin. You need the transparency. We're not competing at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has its place, and it's, I think, going to change the world. But this is a product. This is not we're going to change the world in a financial infra way. This is really about creating an engine where we can just reward people with awesome vacations. And the more we do that, the more the community grows. The more the community grows, the more trading volume gets optimized, the more asset base gets up that can be used for perpetual buybacks on the token. And it's in theory an infinitely scalable model. But for this to work, we needed the third piece because we've talked about the economic model and the utility. The third aspect is the community. What we've seen in the market is that we haven't seen a mainstream brand in crypto yet. We've seen it for exchanges like Binance, Bybit, Crypto.com. They've worked on their brand equity. We haven't seen a utility token that's created a mainstream brand. Like we haven't seen the Nike of crypto. There's probably ApeCoin, but it's too degen for my uncle. So if we can say people, and that's where we explain to people, it's like, hey, this is a crypto that sends you on vacation. It's like, it's a crypto, it can go up, it can go down, but whether it goes up or down, every single month you receive miles, and then you can redeem those miles against vacations. And so best case, you moon and you're happy. Worst case, even if the token crashes or goes down temporarily, you're still receiving miles every month. And once you receive enough, you can reclaim those for vacations. And so that seemed to have less, the risk reward seems to be appealing for the everyday guy.
So how do you receive those miles? Just for holding the token?
Exactly. You just buy the token and then you receive miles every single month.
And then where do you get the miles?
Right on. So what we do, the miles are actually other Lingo tokens. But what we've done is, thanks to part of our team, we've had the ex-head of Expedia France as our COO, and Rachel House, who's the ex-managing director of Booking.com, is on our board. Basically, what we've done is we've integrated over 100,000 hotels on our proprietary app. So the idea is you buy Lingo, you lock it, and then you receive other Lingos as miles. And then once it's enough, you can redeem those out of 100,000 plus hotels.
And what's in it for the hotels? Because you have obviously the team that's worked in these fields before. How are they getting paid?
Well, they're getting paid in fiat. That's the thing. Because remember, there's real world assets that we own that we use to buy back coins, our own token, consistently every single month. So that's how we finance the utility for the community. The hotel they just get paid.
Okay, cool. And you kind of already mentioned this a bit, but what problem is this solving? Is it for people that can't afford vacations or want more vacations? What are you solving?
It's on the one hand, it's people who have to literally work for years at jobs they hate because they want to afford this vacation. And if we can help them, not even 100% finance it, if we can help them afford these vacations in a better way, we think they're gonna have an awesome life. And if we can do that at scale, then we're going to change a lot of people's lives. And this is all with a model that the more we do this, the more it shows the model, because it's all decentralized, and I won't tell you how the Web3 works, but the more we do this, the more it gets powerful. The more it gets powerful, the more people can benefit from this. So that's one. Secondly is the loyalty space. So my co-founder David, he founded a company called John Paul, which ended up becoming the world leader in premium loyalty. It's a Paris-based startup. It was acquired for 150 million in 2016. And we found, thanks to Web3, thanks to this technology, a much better way to tackle loyalty rewards. Because compared to the existing traditional models, there's three main differences. One is that we can give exponentially more miles to people based on what they spend. And the reason why is because we are community driven. Everything that we generate, we give 100% back to the community. Versus these big corporations, they are shareholder driven. So they need to maximize profits for shareholders and keep the minimum possible for you to get loyalty and get miles. So on the one hand, we can provide exponentially more miles. On the second hand, you get miles consistently, vacation rewards consistently instead of one-off. With the existing traditional systems, if you don't pay, you don't get. Whereas for us, as long as you're in the community, you keep on getting. And number three is, if you don't like it, you can resell your membership, your tokens, which you can do in the traditional space. And then the third problem we are solving is for that billion people who are curious about crypto, who want to say at a party, hey, I invested in crypto, but they never dared to because they didn't understand, or they found that it was too risky, it was backed by nothing, or they didn't understand how they can use it in real life.
Where are you guys right now in terms of growth? Is this out today, or where are you?
We're not out today. So what we've done is we've tested. It's great to have all these ideas, but do you have product market fit, or it's a coin market fit? So with no marketing, we've approached around 400 investors. We made sure that more than half of them had never invested in crypto before. And those had to be sophisticated investors because we put high tickets in. Like the average ticket was 65,000 euros, which is around $70,000. We approached 400 investors, pitched the idea. 20% of them signed in a bear market. So we've sold around $5 million of Lingo today in a bear market, with primarily people who never invested in crypto before. And for the delta, the remaining 50%, these are pure crypto traders who analyze tokenomics all day long. And so for us, this was the ultimate proof of coin market or product market fit. And we were like, okay, if with zero marketing, we have a 20% closing rate with high tickets, what would happen now if we pitch to millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, with a strong brand equity and no minimum ticket? So what we've done is we've approached celebrities and influencers, because we found that this was the playbook of the biggest brands in the world, the mainstream brands, so like Nike, Red Bull, etc. Initially, we approached people with influence and said, hey, like, instead of paying you, the guys we approached have an average of 5 to 10 million followers. Instead of paying you $100,000 or $50,000 per post, you're gonna commit to at least 50 posts over 2 years. We're not gonna pay you, and you're gonna have a tiny portion of the supply that is locked for 2 years. So imagine coming to, let's say, we have 5 players from the French soccer team. Imagine approaching a player that earns 2 million euros of salary a month and saying, hey, we want like 50 posts that you've never done in your life, and you have to trust us, and in 2 years maybe it's going to work. 99.9% would say no, but they love the idea so much that first of all they said yes, and then the fact that they are token holders now, they started calling their friends. And when a celebrity calls another celebrity, the trust is already there. So we've done that a year ago, and today we have more than 100 mainstream celebrities who sign with us, representing around 300 million followers, and quantified at around $50 million of worth of marketing contracts that's secured. We've also done the same with Web3 KOLs, because it's great to have influence, but we've seen what happened with, I don't need to name drop these projects, but if you have people who don't know what they're talking about, pushing something in Web3, then you don't have the credibility. So it was important for us to get the people who has authority in Web3. We did the same with Web3 influencers, and today, again, we have over 100 Web3 KOLs. We have a Lady of Crypto. I think she's the #1 female crypto influencer in the world, at least on Twitter. Travlad, Adrian from Bird Nest, and 100 plus. And it's every single week, it's going more and more and more. And that's great, because again, these guys get approached all the time. Hey, they never accept tokens only, right? And with us, it's the exception. And so we have a mix of, in terms of traction, some of the best Web3 KOLs, and at a later stage, 100 plus celebrities combining 300 million followers. And so the next step for us now will be launching an ICO in 3 months. And finally, we have secured a few of the top 10 exchanges, centralized exchanges. We can't name them obviously now, but after the ICO will be the actual launch.
One of the main things that makes me so like interested or excited about this is the team's background, which you already mentioned, because they do come from that traditional world. I just so I can make it ultra clear for me, like if I want to take advantage just as a consumer, like I want to go on vacation, I have, let's say, $5,000. Is it more advantageous in the business model, which is, nothing is guaranteed. Investing in crypto is risky in general, but why wouldn't I could just put that towards a vacation? But you're saying you're going to get a better value if you do it and earn the miles. How does that work?
It works differently because if you're saying, are you a crypto curious person who always wanted to dabble in crypto, or are you just someone who purely wants to go on a vacation? If you're the former, then what we say is, look, well, instead of Bitcoin that you don't really understand, or all the other coins that clearly you don't understand, you can still take a bet here. So the real problem is, hey, I can still say I'm getting in crypto and still take a bet, but the worst case, I'm still receiving the miles to go on vacations. So it's really that risk reward that's quite interesting. And secondly, if you analyze tit for tat, I mean, we can get into the yield mechanism behind, but we don't want to be positioned as a financial product, which we are now. We're a utility, which is why I won't tell you, hey, like if you invest X, this is how much you'll get. But when you dive into tokenomics, you clearly see the value in it.
I understand. You're going for that the audience, the majority of the world that isn't into crypto yet, but is curious and is trying to find something that can affect them and they want in their real life.
Exactly. Well, for now, we've seen that 50% of our private sale investors are pure Web3 degens who just love the model because of these two missing pieces in the meme coin model, the real world assets and the real life utility that we've integrated. And it's also a fully doxed team. But then 50% is really that next billion wave who are already curious today that we want to tap into. And this is why we need massive influence to be able to pitch it to them. And then with the team, like I haven't added, but you know Michael Hewen from Decentral, one of the largest Web3 events. He was one of the first advisors for Polygon, I think, who's on our team. We have Kevin Maloney, who's the CEO of iTrust Capital. Again, I think it's $1 billion IRA platform, and they are focused on the crypto curious. Again, it's in a bear market, it's $1 billion company, and their market is the crypto curious.
That's what I'm saying, dude. The team that you have assembled, it's really exciting. So let's just look to the future. In the perfect world, in 5 years, what will success look like for Lingo?
As for the community, it's hopefully sending at least 10 million people, helping 10 million people afford vacations or go on vacation by 2030. Which is not 5 years, sorry, it's 7 years, but 10 million people affording vacations by 2030. And especially the childhood dream is, and we think we have the team and the resources and the contracts to make it work. Now it's just a matter of execution and a little bit of luck, is to be known as the Nike of crypto or the Red Bull of utility tokens. No one's built a mainstream brand in tokens before, and if we can be known as this, that would be the dream. It's kind of like the iPod before, when you had hardware products and you had MP3s, etc., and people were competing on tech. And then the iPod came in. It wasn't revolutionary in terms of tech, but it was so appealing to the mainstream audience, it became the iPod. This is what we were gunning for.
Why now? Why are you launching this, or do people need this now?
Very good question. The number one, and that might sound surprising given my whole marketing emphasis, is regulation. Like a year ago, the regulatory framework was not as clear as now. I'm talking about Europe, Hong Kong, Dubai, Southeast Asia, yet. But now that there is a clear framework, and we're making sure that we are kosher, regulatory wise, this would allow us to really take our vision to the next level and advertise in a very mainstream way. So we're going to be able to advertise on TV, metro stations, billboards, radios, because we know that behind the regulatory framework is clear. We have all the KYC, AML compliance frameworks. People are secure, feel secure. And then we can just say, hey, this is the crypto of the future. This is the crypto for vacation. And we can be serene with advertising and working our brand equity for the mainstream audience without having to have this weird vibe of are we illegals? Are we like trying to challenge the system? Are we not? Can we get sued? So this is number one. And then number two is the next potential bull run. As you know, like 100% of the times there's been a Bitcoin halving, there's been a bull run. It doesn't mean it will happen in the future, but it's quite likely. And then number three is you're seeing the big guys coming in, like BlackRock, Fidelity. This can potentially be huge. Like these guys get in, we're gonna have another Web3.
I want to share the giveaway, which we haven't mentioned yet, with our audience. But before that, is there anything we didn't mention that we need to mention on Lingo?
We're going to be at Token 2049. We have a booth there next month. Oh, super cool.
Yeah,
nice.
I'll see you there.
Yeah. We're going to do a recatch of Miami, yeah?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah.
We met originally at Decentral in Miami, a crypto conference.
Exactly. We're also doing a side event that's going to be, I think, quite cool. We aim to have the most badass side events. Like in Miami, unfortunately, I think you were on holidays. You couldn't join in, but hopefully we'll see you at our side event. We're going to have amazing rewards too for the community that we've planned. And yeah, talking about the community, look, we obviously have big ambitions. We are putting our money where our mouth is. We're working extremely hard, trying to make and trying to execute as best as we can. So if we execute well, we're probably going to have hundreds of thousands of people following us on our Twitter and Discord. And we literally just opened our Discord like literally now, and we have special rewards for the early members of our community. And so I'm announcing a giveaway, and that's, guys, exclusively for the Altcoin daily audience. So we're sending 2 people to Dubai on a trip, and we are going to literally airdrop you your vacation. So we're sending you on a skydive in Dubai. You're going to be literally jumping from a plane and getting airdropped in Dubai. And I think we're going to share a link below on how you can participate, and that's exclusively for the Altcoin daily audience.
And can we share the steps they have to do, simple steps like following both accounts or whatever, or do you want to just leave that for the video description?
Yeah, we can leave a link that our team will work on, but essentially we'll be following you guys on Twitter, Altcoin Daily, following Lingo Coins on Twitter, and joining our Discord, and we'll send a secret code, can be Altcoin Daily, on our Discord, and then yeah, hopefully we'll see you in Dubai.
Link down below. Check it out. I want somebody in the Altcoin Daily. Somebody will get to take advantage of this, but awesome having you on, HM. Links for everything are down below. Final thoughts for the Altcoin Daily Army.
We think there's too much emphasis on, and that's important, on drilling down tokenomics. How is it engineered, etc. At the end of the day, it's all about, is there demand for what you're doing, and are you solving real problems, and are you adding value to people's lives? You can have I was having a conversation with guys at Flowdesk. It's a market maker in Paris, who's seen hundreds of projects that's integrated with the best exchanges in the world. And they told me, look, it comes down to demand and supply. At the end of the day, you can have the best tokenomics in the world. If you're not adding value to people's lives, and you're not creating a community around this value offering, then even if you have the best tokenomics in the world, it's not going to work. I mean, on our side, I didn't mention, but our CTO is the ex-head of engineering at Consensus. We've worked with a lot of strong experts on our tokenomics, on our models, etc., and we work hard on this. But at the end of the day, a project is about, are you adding value to people's lives? And you can have the worst everything, but if you're adding value to people's lives and you're impacting potentially a lot of people, then it will work. So I'm not saying invest in us. I'm not even saying it will work. But if it does, it's going to change the lives of millions, and it will be a cool story. So appreciate your time, guys, and we'll see you in Singapore if you're going to be there.